And we are live, just so you know. That's me. Shut my volume. Okay, we're calling to order the council and committee, committee meeting for November 28th. And I guess first up was the finance. It's a fairly brief report, so we're not going to ask Jen to come up unless there's any questions on her report. I'll give a couple comments, but does anybody have anything specific on that? Notable is we did miss the deadline for the provincial November 15th deadline to submit the budget, as did many municipalities, by the way. We are also still waiting for the Regional Service Commission budget to be approved. So no one in our region has actually submitted their budget to my knowledge, but we are aiming to have that budget finished in the next couple weeks. Yep.
So we're gonna wait till December fall.
We would be hoping to pass the
Or
budget.
have a special meeting, you think?
We could if we need to, but the latest we would be passing it on the December 12th if everybody's ready, but we'll need some time. It would be good. The finance committee meeting went yesterday, by the way, and we did comb through through a lot. There was lots of little things and some blanks to fill in yet, but we need another week for sure to get it cleaned up and in order to present. But I think once it's presented, it should be hopefully fairly easy for council. But if council is not prepared, we will need to call a special committee meeting. Yeah, for sure. And then the only other thing, I guess, notable is the fire services agreements, right? So you know what Jennifer put in there for amounts that we're paying other municipalities for them providing us fire services. So, and it's a substantial amount overall, and it wasn't really known to us this year. So the provincial government did help us in paying those amounts for 2023, but we're responsible for including them in our budget for 2024. But I will say the CAO and I have discussed this, and I know it's been discussed at the Regional Service Commission as well, and that'll be a role they'll play in helping us all sort out what that should be and what the actual amount should be for beyond probably budget year 2024. So if there does any, yes, or Councillor Williams.
The question I actually had was whether the amount for Lakeland Bridges was a normal, if there were more calls than normal.
We have no idea how that number's been calculated, and that's the issue. Unfortunately, we just don't have any real power to change that this year. I think we need to all sit down and figure out how was this calculated, based on what? Was it an old LSD calculation that's just carried through and maybe isn't relevant, or can we just say we are going to cover that territory ourselves moving forward? So I think we just need to sort that out, but there's no correct, Jennifer, there's no real knowledge of how that number was, how they came to those numbers. One of those lingering things the province left us with. Okay, any other questions? Okay, we'll move on to tourism. And I'll ask Toby, you're popping up here to help. You go, you do, right? You do you.
Good evening, everyone. My age a little bit here. Just want to comment on a few things that have happened in our community. One, last Friday night, in partnership with NBCC and Marianne Walker, we did the Christmas drive-in movie, which was successful, but cold. And also thanks to Public Works who helped with putting some extra lighting down there. They had some care work as well, and it was a great event. Some committee reports on the Fleming property. We do have signage that's ordered and delivered. However, we won't be able to until spring for the Takanaki and the Francis Peabody Sharp properties. Basically, and they're just to be placed where those properties are. We did have some signage that was there. Actually, it got older and dirtier So we need to make ones that are similar to our walking tour signs, so they will be a permanent picture. The Tane Community Theater, we had a committee meeting, and there's some talks in, updating our committee, and in discussion with the Anglophone West District. Some of the events that were held in November was somebody run the youth orchestra, and this upcoming weekend is the Woodstock High School Grand Prix. Snowmobile races, meetings, we sponsored that event that's happening in February, and have been attending their bi-weekly meetings. Solar eclipse is coming along nicely. You can see January 1st, we'll be ramping it up. We have a meeting bi-weekly to discuss our plans, our budget, the items that we need, organizations involved, where the locations are gonna be, and also we may participate in the parade on Sunday. The Western Valley Tourism Group, which has a solar eclipse committee, that's a regional one that we meet once a month, see what everyone's up to on that part. Strategic plan, and working on a Festival of Nature conference that will be held in Woodstock in June, and also working with them on a new fishing tournament for June 30th, which is hook and paddle. That's will tie in nicely with the July floats event. So fishing out of a kayak, and if you look up hook and paddle, you'll see that it's not just one fishing rod; they have numerous fishing rods that they use. On the communication side, obviously, the social media, if you are following Woodstock tourism, you'll see the daily events that happen when our committee is posted. Also, talk to Woodstock Recreation, post some of their events as well, and as well as the town Woodstock, the commission. Communication, we're gonna be working on water break / construction, how we roll that out and who does what, with the social media and website. And our website, obviously, our various notices for different departments, reorganize the town hall and town hall section, and populating some pages and discussion with all that on our redesign, the presentation after this. Here at the Air Motor Center, we've been busy with some special events and trying to get our inventory up and organized a little bit better with our bar and kitchen. But also special events, we've had Craft the Christmas Show, which was on November the 4th, 1,200 people attended, we had over 75 vendors. The McCain's Grower Party was on November the 8th, which was a successful event, where all the growers from Grand Falls, was here in attendance. And on Friday night also, our sold out dinner theater, that we host every year with Broadway Productions, we had 160 guests. Turn this on just so that everyone can see a little bit better. So, a discussion back in the spring with council about the website in the background, about how it was not user-friendly for our residents. How it was hard to find information. So, we've had some discussion with some other providers, and we decided to stay with our current provider, which is All That Municipal Solutions, and they actually deal in municipal websites. And so as part of our contract, we get a redesign every 4 years, or our 4 years was actually overdue. So we had a discussion with them and talked about the different, about the layout of it, so that it would be a lot easier. And so they gave us this website, and I'll talk about it. And so in your document, it'll take you through each one of these sites. So this is what our homepage will look like. We can send them some photographs. the top half will have, this will be a scrolling bar, and so it'll have different pictures of our municipality in it. This is just replacement, this can all be changed, this is just something that we placed here. And so it's easy access, and you'd be able to click on each one of these. So these are just some things they pulled from our website, like our municipal plan, or some facility schedule awards employment. And this is something that we can populate with our top things that we want residents and visitors to see immediately when they go to our website, on our homepage. And then at the bottom will be our upcoming events. So on the right-hand side, it will show all the events that are coming up on whatever day you're on. And then, of course, our events calendar is quite populated, so it'll scroll through and change regularly. You'll never see the same thing every day, hopefully not. Then we've kind of cleaned up the bottom of it so you don't have this large gap that's there. Basically, the contact information, office hours, where you can sign up for our e-newsletter. But we also, this bar right here will be like a scrolling bar that will change at the bottom, so that if you were looking for a certain page or something like that, that's another popular one. But also, our headlines will be live, work, play. There's a visit here. Visit, and then town hall. So one of the next steps is to meet with the directors so they can populate their pages, what we're gonna put on their pages. And so that if you want to visit here, this will be everything under the tourism section, like accommodation, eateries, events, attractions. Play will be like some of the recreation things. Work will be anything to do with the business directory, links to the BIA, Chamber of Commerce. Live is where we'll put, if you're a resident here and you want to know the recycle schedule, you want to know about a water break, you want to know about construction. And then town hall will be like the administrator for all the town halls. Will be also development and planning, trying to figure out where we're going to put you. I think maybe under work, we'll figure that out when we get to your section. And of course, the drop-down menu will be a lot easier. It also has links to our social media. You'll be able to search the web. And then it has, of course, here is the weather in our area. So there's a lot of things. This is not what stagnant was going to be. There's different things we can populate with this. But this is all something that I would do on mine. Like, we don't have to have a person that we have to pay to do this. So it's whatever information that I receive. We'll figure out where we put it. Questions?
A couple questions,
Okay.
Rachel. So it looks like it's a bit of a redesign, a freshen up, but also a bit of a reorganization, which I think will make it a lot more user-friendly and easy. Has the search feature, has that been improved over the current one?
It's supposed to be, yes,
Okay.
but I have not tested it.
That would be a really useful.
So like if you're
useful
looking
feature.
for like couple minutes, if that's the
Yeah.
search, yes.
Also, is it mobile friendly?
It's supposed to be, but they didn't do that with our redesign to show us what it looked like. But it will be a lot easier than our other one, and it all has to do to the way it's designed, so that it's not in a table. I found that if it's not in a table, it'll line up a little bit better.
Perfect.
The other question I have was about their rebranding, knowing that at some point that will probably happen. Will that be pretty easy for you to make the updates if we come up with a new logo and all that stuff?
Ended up with doing all these snapshots, have the one proposed new logo. When we go live, it will have the existing current logo, and then yes, we can update it.
I have a comment more so than a question. I really like it. It's much more user friendly. Yeah, it looks more modern. I like how it's actual photos from the community and the background photos. So, yeah, I like it.
our current one on this left-hand side had all our departments broken out, so it was taking up a lot of space. And to me, it was easy because I was thinking of the department, but I wasn't thinking of the resident during the building for something. So this will make it a lot easier as a resident or a visitor.
I guess my only comment, Toby, is thank you, because I know this has been a lot of work. You know, we've sat in a number of meetings looking at different iterations of this and tweaking and adjusting, and it's certainly getting to a really final point, and I like the step of getting all the directors involved. I think from our point of view, we're going to start with a very lean amount of information on the website and then grow it as necessary from there, because we just weren't, we don't want to just drag everything in that was on the old site just because it was there. So there was an overwhelming amount of information, and I think we just need to go with the basics. And if we find somebody's looking for something that we forgot to add and it's important, we'll continue to add. So I think once it's launched, it will be made known to the public that it's almost in a beta stage, and we're looking for people to use it and get feedback and grow it from there. But I like the clean look, and it's in much better shape. So thank you for all the effort, because it's a lot of work.
And if anyone, anytime sees something with an error, a misspelled word or something, please do not hesitate to send me an email and I can fix it. Because it has happened a couple times, and it's just something that if you read it, you don't even notice it, that, you know, someone wants it. Thank you.
It's great. Thank you. Okay, move on to, I guess we have protective services. So yes, you guys are going to come up and we don't have a report, but they're going to give us a presentation tonight. So
Thank you, everyone. I think I've met almost everybody in the room now, but if you haven't met me, I am Mark Bennett, and one of the newest members of the Woodstock Police. So I've just come tonight to talk to you guys about a new initiative that we're spearheading in Woodstock called the Hand Up, Not a Handout program. You can hand these down. And with me is one of our admin staff, Sherry Hunter, if you don't know her, and I'm sure everybody does,
yeah.
who really was spearheading this initiative. What this is, with the housing insecurity we've noticed recently with the transient homelessness passing through, with people trying to get to shelters in Fredericton and different areas, they're coming, for lack of a better word, destitute. They don't have anything. They don't have the means to get to the help that they need. So we saw an opportunity that we could give some dignity back to these individuals who are struggling financially, emotionally, mental health, family issues. And we wanted something that would involve the whole community. So what we did is we reached out to a number of our local agencies and came up with this idea to create these backpacks that aren't going to support any kind of encampment, because we don't want that either, but that will give them the opportunity to have something on their back and contain some necessities that will get them to where they're going and provide them just that modicum of dignity. So in the backpacks, we sat and we scratched our heads and thought, what could we include that is going to benefit these people and provide them with some means of supporting themselves and helping them to get to the next stage that they need to. So the first thing you're going to notice on these backpacks is the card. Okay, what's very important is the card on the side.
Yep.
We've listed out the agencies that can help them, and that was integral. That was so important. We've laminated them so they're weatherproof, and when they reach that crucial moment in their life where they will and are willing to seek help, that they have that those numbers. So that's the first thing we included. The second thing you're gonna see in the pockets is a bottle of water on the side. Again, just something that will help them get to where they need to be. Because we're into the colder months with this initiative, right? I'm still throwing her under the bus, right? It's like I'm just calling things out. So we have toques and mittens.
Mhm.
And we'll go through, these were all graciously donated by a multitude of community groups. We didn't want this to be a police-centric initiative, and the outpouring of support we got was unbelievable. As a matter of fact, it was almost a tell a friend, and then somebody else would come to us we never reached out to. So these were from the knitting club from the River Valley retirement home,
Riverside,
Riverside,
yeah.
Riverside, yes, a lovely, lovely, lovely. They provided these, as well as Afghans, which we're not including. Those are for people that are in crisis for any number of reasons. So they were kind enough to provide us with these. I'll just go through that. Sobeys provided us with the water. Next we have the socks, which were March Roberto. Right. So Wendy McMillan, yeah, and Annette Draper made these socks. It's because we have socks from different people, so I apologize if I'm stumbling over that. But they were kind enough when they heard about this initiative to make these for us out of the kindness of their hearts as well. So we have socks. We also have Padre Williams who provided some socks as well. So every bag has the same thing, but maybe from different donors. So we have those. And the extra hat and mitts, we're starting with 10 backpacks. I knew that was going to be your next question. We're starting with 10, and we were short a few, so we had them made. Also included in the backpack is going to be toothbrush and toothpaste. And that was from Dr. Yeah, and Alec Wishart. So Dr. Kent Orlando and Dr. Alec Wishart were kind enough to provide those. We have some emergency blankets, and those, along with the backpacks, came from Canadian Tire. And as I said, the tell a friend, we have these reflective bands they can wear. They happen to be trying to get to a nature that can help them. Anonymous. They were dropped off. They thought they could support our program. Soap and shampoo. Again, you never know if somebody reaches a decision in their life and they want to buy their job, clean themselves up, go visit their children they haven't seen in a while. Any number of reasons. We're giving them the opportunity to humanize themselves when they might otherwise struggle. And Best Western kind enough to provide us with a number of these for the next 20 backpacks. Hand warmers, again, anonymous donor, came in and said, you know what, I'd like to provide these to help out. And 10 of these fleece blankets by an anonymous donor, specifically requesting that they not get credit for it. And I think they should, but they're not, they don't want it. So 10 of these blankets in, and power bars. So these were from Sobeys as well. So people wanted to be a part of this. We are just trying to give them a means of helping themselves from where they are, which is, usually pretty near the bottom when you get to that point. So it's the hand up, not a hand out program. The community has focused on this. Like, I can't believe this was done in 3 weeks, pretty near. And again, all credit to Sherry Hunter who spearheaded this and has done such a magnificent job. So we just want to let you know that we read about the police in the media and we see the other work we're doing, but there's different paths we like to go down that our community supports. So this is one thing that the Woodstock Police Force, under the direction of Chief Forward, that we've instituted. So I thank every member, every donor, and charity for putting these all together. So that is pretty much what we wanted to say.
Awesome.
Thank you.
So can I assume, since you guys are initiating it, that you will identify someone who needs one when
Right.
you come in contact with them?
That's right. So we will put out to our members, they will have at their discretion the ability to donate. So there's going to be 2 in each cruiser, and that is a really good question. So they will be in the cruiser. We'll have some at the station. We will have a list because we're not oblivious to the fact that sometimes people take advantage of programs like this and we don't want to get 4 backpacks to the same person. So once you've got a backpack, you know, I'm not saying that there could be another one in your future, but we're going to have a list similar to, we give out vouchers for the motels when people need them. We keep a list of that, right? So it's something we will keep track of, and we will have at the discretion of the officers. This includes people just couch surfing where they need a hand. We're not, the officers will make that decision based on the totality of the situation.
Well, I think I can speak for, I mean, it's awesome. It's and there's so many organizations locally trying to do what they can to help, and this is a good step to take for you guys in particular. We know you deal with them, and the officers deal with them on a regular basis, and so that's a good thing for the officers to have on hand.
Important part to engage the entire community. And, you know, what we got from everybody, it was not even asking, it was just volunteering. So thank you very much and appreciate it. Hopefully this goes a long way to giving people back a bit of decency, or a bit of hope and help.
Might be appropriate to like maybe put a box for donations at the town hall, that anybody who wanted to get involved could,
We could do that.
If they'd like to, yeah.
if you guys are
Share,
accepting
catch that.
donations, maybe we could keep the box right at the town hall.
Certainly put a
Yeah.
box at the town hall for
Absolutely,
donations.
if there's things that.
Yeah, that people know what's in it.
Yeah, exactly. So I think we should start with the first 10, see how the
Yep.
program rolls out, and then absolutely, because it's been overwhelming. So,
Awesome.
thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Okay, recreation. Kelly, you joining us?
I was a little worried about if I could see it. Good evening, everybody. Sharing our report from November 28th, some old items. We just keep recirculating, just so we keep them on there and know they're current and still active, and we haven't forgotten about them. The rate increase recommendation, I think, went to finance, and I don't know if anyone has any questions on that. The one thing I will speak to is in mid-season consideration for sports organizations that have already set their fees for this season, which will come up again, of course, mid-season when they renew those registration numbers. So only thing I wanted to share, valid importance is making sure the hardship is there for the social bodies who are using our facility and parents and children are part of that. So capital items, we'll move on. Safety company, I actually saw one of the tapes coming down at about 4 o'clock. I think they're circling around to see where they're going to put the concrete, so that's a good sign. That's been awarded. It was a 3-week turnaround, hoping to have that canopy up. The truck lift gate and the other 3 items, floor machine and roof tie down, will be deferred to 2024. We do not have a need at this current time to turn that around. Energy upgrade, built house lighting currently. Alan and I met with Darren to review the energy project, the totality and in recognition of the lights that we're having issues with. We've been on site with the contractor. My initial is, I'm going to say what my initial thought is on LED lighting. When we upgraded an LED lights in 15 years ceilings we're gonna have to change again. That was hopeful. The reality of that isn't there. We have 7 of our 9 original lights out, which are causing lighting issues in the field house. I do believe, and we're working on proving it, whether light outages, like we had on Saturday, just sporadically, like the transformer, but I do believe we are getting a bit of power issues here that are having implications on our lighting, and having several LED lights go out. So we're working with the CAO as well as here, we're working with equipment to do what we need to do to actually validate what we suspect could be happening. So a concern for sure, priority is field house lighting and seeing what we need to do next to, is it a driver, is it a ballast, is it a fixture? So we're getting a schedule and decide exactly what direction we need to head in. I'll update you when we know more. System integration, Ryan Craig was on site, we're working on integrating active net and our controls. That is definitely going to be a work in progress. We get go on rooms. That means that anything that's scheduled, even Taekwondo that doesn't require it, now has it. So we're working to back out. So it's going to be a bit of a process, transitioning with the integration as we move. Certainly a moving target at this point. Our solar conduit that had separated has been repaired, so that's a check. Pool HVAC, the installation drain has been deferred to 2024. I did have that separated out to see if we could reduce the cost and install the drain this year, knowing that the installation was going to be what it was. Surprisingly, not flat on lot less. The drain itself is still around $9,000 to have installed. So we have decided to defer that expense to 2024. Pool heater is still where we're at, and we'll have that installed maybe more in 2024 than 2023. Arena, the humidifier on this end has had some frost timer replaced, and we're working on controls points that I can see that the infrared jump fans are working properly. That was part of the issue in sequel startup in August. We are currently working on updating contracts with sport user groups to MOUs that will be reviewed on an annual basis. So this is a moving document annually with groups. They haven't been completed as of yet, but they're working shortly. Policy development reviews and things we're working on. It's much like we talked about. It's a policy on public skating or cancellations due to provincial or national sanctioned events. The ICE logo policy, which we'll be reviewing to see how we move forward prior to the installation in August, and facility closure policy. In addition to that, in our meeting today is talking about what we do when there's a power outage on a Saturday, in the middle of a large event, Christmas party. So we have some work to do on what protocol we did well, I think, in the end, but the reality is we need a protocol on a lot of things, so we close the policy, the weather as well as, like I say, power outages, how we do food contact, and what our next steps on reopening our canteen operation. We do have somebody who's just waiting on signing up the contract and for them to get their license to open doors. So that's great. We're looking forward to that additional service here. Myself as well as all the community members, just some programs that are going on, mainly the ones that have happened in November, but the ones more importantly coming up. December 14th, we'll have a special Pops Christmas dance where over 100 people on the special needs will show and Santa will arrive and deliver gifts. I invite everyone to do that. It's so much fun and so exciting. December 20th is a senior social and traditional Christmas dinner where our department and anyone else within the counselors can come to seniors. We have Colin Taylor who works with us to cater dinner. We serve it, and thanks to Mark and some people who stepped forward for the come help serve. Last year it was done by our internal team. We had 225 seniors, so it's a great event. Prepared to come serve and help the So don't come for just the good stuff, you can really do your help and that too. But we appreciate it all, so, sure. December 31st is our family New Year's Eve event. I don't know if all of you are familiar, we have a family event with face painters and clowns and fireworks at 8 and Great Prince inflatables, kind of a big deal. And that we have a canteen this year, we have a fantastic event for the community. Should touch on family day will be open for a portion of the day. We're still finalizing what that looks like. There will be a community offering of access to the facility. I envision a 4-hour window where you have access to food, drill house, the arena, to enjoy things with your family, working potentially, and other groups provide other opportunities in the field place. But we will be open for a period of time. It won't be for, as we've discussed, it will be for access to the central walking track and just public access to those facilities, only the provision of service for local groups to access minor hockey or state club or those types of things. So just so we'll have that out for family day, what's available. AMC center closures for your consideration. This is what we want to do. So I just wanted to put that on the table so everyone is aware. This is what we're moving forward with, and if any questions around that, it is traditional what we do in the past.
Anyone have any questions for Cal? Nope, it's pretty straightforward. Thank you very much.
I hope you like this hat.
Thank you. Development and planning. Andrew?
Legend first Kelly that I thought previously that was going to be there. Apologies. A couple things, we'll talk a bit about permits. You have the document in front of you. You probably received the second one this afternoon.
Yeah.
Probably was converted. I didn't realize it till late, but when it got converted to PDF, the graph got a little funky with it. So as of up to the 22nd of November, we had issued 90 building permits. I guess we're going a little further. At our next CIC, I'd like to kind of divide that a little bit more of what these numbers meant as far as what was built, what was done, why permits were issued. So, for example, like new homes, renovations, if it's sort of residential or commercial, that kind of thing. But we had 90 permits as to date. You can see them there. We're Ward 1 at 14, Ward 2, 12, Ward 3, 8, 48, and Ward 4, and 8 and Ward 5. So those permits came in at a total value, project value of a little over $19 million. And you can see how they were divided up. For the most part, the wards with the higher permits for the higher project value. Ward 4, a little more than $7.7 million, and then Ward 1 at 4.2 million. We're hoping to get to 20 million in the year. We might be a little short, but it isn't. Some other permits that are really popular in the council are development permits. So we had 15 of those. Not as popular, but people don't tend to always necessarily get development permits. It's just be unknown, but we get 1 and 1, 1 and 2, 4 and 3, 9 and 4, 5. So the development permits are like basically items that they don't need building inspections, but they still have to comply with the bylaw. So it could be decks, fences, but it also does include replacement of perhaps a community home or a mobile home. So their dollar values are what we get for fees for that are a lot less. However, when you get items like a mobile home, if it comes to come in, we do get the tax rate. So, small upfront, but then, works out good at the end, so. And you can see that, Ward, 4, it had 9, 3, Ward 3 had 4, and then 1 and 2, and then you see the dollar values, accordingly, for those, about $567,000, so. Last category is, for signs, so there was only, a sign permit actually only costs $25, it's, very low price. We are gonna look at moving forward. Legal development permits are very, very low, so, I feel that, there's a way to, up those fees, but I'll put that together for consideration for, and not just with the permits, made some zoning confirmations, stamping a subdivision drawing. It's amazing how often I get asked what the fee is for it, so, it's definitely lost my friend. It's a lot of other municipalities are doing something much more. You can see on that last page, again, it has a total of the fee, so we were able to collect $95,000 in building permit fees, 800 in permit fees, and 150 for signs, so it's about $96,000 of those. Any questions in regards to the permit part? Just thought it'd be good to update with the municipal plan and the zoning bylaw. So in front of you, you can see, I'll just go through the order of the events that have happened so far. What we have achieved so far. Early September, council gave public notice. They have the intention to adopt and to amend the current municipal plan. On September 26th, the council meeting motion was to refer the municipal plan amendments to the planning advisory committee, and also at this time, a public presentation was done on these same amendments. On October 23rd, the planning advisory committee received the presentation that council would have received, and made a motion at that meeting to proceed with the legislative process. More recently, on the 14th, council received feedback on the 30-day comment period. There wasn't a whole lot, as you know, which wasn't totally surprising, especially with Ward 4. Thought we might get some more questions in compared to the other wards, but for the most part, didn't receive a whole lot. At this time, at the same council meeting, public hearing date is set for the municipal plan and the zoning bylaw amendments, which will be December 12th, which is the next council meeting. And also at that same meeting, a motion was made to refer the zoning bylaw amendments to the planning advisory committee. On the 20th, planning advisory committee received the same presentation that the council did, and again, they made a motion to continue with the process. So where do we go from here? We're getting close to the end. On the 12th, as I said, we have the public hearing for the municipal plan and the zoning bylaw. That same meeting, council will have the option to move ahead with first and second reading of both municipal plan and the zoning bylaw. And the first meeting of January 2024, the option of holding third reading of the bylaws will happen. Please remember though that we can make changes to both the plan and the bylaw right up to the last reading. We're ready to do that. Also, if council's uncomfortable when we do these reviews, we can put the brakes on and hold it off. So it's the next time we'll do this, it will be 2023. So we want to make sure that we do it right. So there is a lot of changes to it. I think there was over 70, I recall, with the zoning bylaw. Definitely with the thought of putting heads and beds and creating more things. So, any questions on that? I try to be more like Chief Ford with the graphics.
Lots of good graphics.
So
Awesome.
it was a good breakdown to
Yeah.
where we are in the process. process, because it is so big in this plan, so thank you for reminding us of all the dates.
Awesome, thank you. So everyone got Director of Public Works Greg Stokes' report. He is not with us tonight, but if anybody has any questions, I'm sure the CAO or myself can field anything, but his report was pretty simple and really well known to us anyway. Does anybody have any questions?
I don't have a question, but I just didn't know if Alan wanted to talk about, wanted to talk about the Y parking lot and the entrance and the change and stuff, just about what is coming, just because I keep getting questions about it. I see a lot of comments about the new parking entrance down
Yes.
here at the Wiseman's.
About how it's aligned and what's happening
Right,
after
In the
that.
future,
yeah,
Yeah.
if you could give just a tidbit about kind of what Greg's saying about what's coming next. People are asking me almost daily, why did that change? What's happening with it? Why are the blockades there?
Yeah, it changed for safety reasons because we're having traffic unnecessarily cross a crosswalk. My understanding from Greg is that in spring we'll clean it up and make it very obvious what's going where and remove any temptation to go down the old crossing by moving the box and ditching it and that sort of stuff.
big thing is that culverts need to be connected.
Exactly.
So until that happens, then it can't be filled in and smoothed out, and it'll look much more obvious. And unfortunately, just with timing, there wasn't really a whole lot else that could be done other than barricade it. We have talked about lighting, so I think Greg was looking at where we could maybe potentially add an additional street light or some lighting there to make it a little bit easier to see at nighttime, which is challenging.
Even
So-
a couple for us markers on the blockades or something.
Yeah. So I think once the snows takes hold, might and doesn't get plowed in that area,
Right.
it might seem a little more obvious. But yeah, it's not the best, but we're gonna deal with it for a winter.
Well, I'm gonna add just a little bit of a comment to.
Yeah.
I don't want to speak on behalf of the high school by any means, but my understanding is with the traffic in the morning for student drop off, typically has been turning left and going into the school, going around the little horseshoe, dropping off kids at the front entrance. I think the ultimate goal there is to eliminate the student drop off be in that area and that be for staff parking only. And the student drop off for any parents that are dropping kids off are to be across the road in the wide parking lot, and then they can come across the crosswalk into the school. I think that's kind of the genesis of part of the issue that we're having with traffic here in Woodstock. So I don't know if that sounds accurate.
Yeah, there were lots of meetings, and I know Andrew, Director of Development and Planning, was part of those meetings with the high school to try and figure out how do we get this working better for everyone, and even just broadening that driveway on the other side so there was more space for people coming out of the high school turning right, that there was enough space that there could almost be an extra lane. So we did that to help them out as well and clean that up a little bit. So, but there is some responsibility on the school to help, and the district to help with this too. So they were hoping to get some help just on all of their parking in general. But
They haven't implemented the drop off ban yet, but I think it's going to be coming in the new year
Yeah.
or sometime soon.
Pretty sure there's signs there saying, you know,
Quite sure
drop
there's
off,
lots
but
of
anyway.
signage there that says drop off.
I think what they've found is this has helped to the
Good.
point where they're like, well, why don't we just move the whole drop off right over there and just ban parents
At
from
least
doing the
that
drop
makes it
off now
safer.
that there's a safe passageway and pathway for the students, and that will just make it much easier for the buses to maneuver and the staff. So
This time of year, they'll all look around at the front of the school or the side of the school, why they would choose to want to have kids drop off across quite a busy street in the morning. and then
Yeah.
Have to walk across it. We do that.
Yeah. I'd say the bulk of,
They would plan
yeah.
Something to have a certain group put on their own property, so they can drop them off.
yeah, I think
But that, it's been that way for 47 years, and they've all safe and we do this, and they're still having kids drop off. And all, so doesn't make sense to me.
Well, that's their Frisbee golf course. They can't put parking in there.
Well, it's a big spot, you know, between.
Yeah.
Between the upper parking lot and the lower parking lot, you think they can make a safe circle
Yeah,
there.
I think the new principal we did do a good bird's eye look at everything. And I think in order for them to really significantly impact the whole route, it's going to take some effort and some money from the district to help them with that. But she did talk about even changing where the buses may come in and out, because they recognize that there's the responsibility of that traffic is on them. But for now, it was certainly a complaint we were getting from the general public about the safety of the kids just going back and forth and the oddity of how the driveway entrances, and people were just using that parking lot anyway. So at least now, if they've got to cross, it's a flashing crosswalk. Everything is lined up. The crosswalk is not interfering with the driveways, and it's a much safer form. And I would say with the high school, a lot of the students come by bus, or they have their own vehicle or scooter or whatnot that they use in the student entrance. So it's a smaller sector that would be dropped off and coming back and forth. But on lunch breaks or whatever they're doing, they're still using that crosswalk a lot. So it's not perfect, but it's probably better. And
Something else to think about, I know this is 25 years ago, but when I graduated in 1997, there was approximately 375 students. There's now close to 700
Yeah.
students to go to Mountain so it's a different beast than it has been in the past. So,
For
I
sure.
get you though.
okay, any other questions? Okay, move on to the last one, utility. Do you have anything in addition to present, or do you just want to see if anybody's got any questions? John gave a very thorough report and summary of all of the utility work that's been ongoing. Does anyone have any questions in general on that?
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, but wasn't easy, but
Also, thank you for
yeah,
the work you put in, how you put in. I don't know if you were expecting this type of commitment when you joined the team, but certainly there will still be some work, so it's a challenge. Perfect. You got lots of work.
I think
He knows.
there's been better information sharing, like
Yes.
you do with what's going on and what to expect and how long to expect it for. Appreciate that.
yes, the staff collaboration is getting there, and that's working out kinks with that, and I think that'll only continue to improve. So we know there was a lot of really important work that was done, and wasn't without glitches, and but at the same token, I'm just going to continue to tell general public we have a lot more of this work to happen in the coming years. This summer will probably be a heavy month of the same similar activity, and we will communicate as best we can. But anytime our work is happening underground, the crews don't often necessarily know what they're going to get into until they start the work. And so we may have identified an area of impact that we think is going to be the streets and the neighbors and the businesses that are impacted, but sometimes that ends up being broadened by unexpected issues within the system. So we're going to continue to do the best we can to advise everyone of the work, but people are going to have to be patient. It is absolutely necessary. We're not just out here changing the quality of water for the fun of it. This is work that's necessary in order for us to continue to deliver you quality water. So stay tuned. Lots more of that. Although a pause over winter, we could say, sort of. Sort of.
Fingers crossed. I do love the CIC meetings because I think
Yeah.
it's so important to have the updates, but I appreciate what
Yeah.
directors, you guys are all doing and your staff is doing, and it just calls it out for anyone who isn't aware just how much work you guys have going on. Thank you for everything. We appreciate it.
Lots of love tonight. So I think that's it. We will, oh, sorry.
I forgot one thing. We're at 267.
Yes, you were gonna
Street now.
announce.
I actually just looked at it.
Yeah, so the Development and Planning Office has been relocated out of Town Hall for space, to free up space for other staff members at the Town Hall. So they are at Unit 1, 267, did we say? 267 Connell Road, yes.
Is there any sign at the front, just to let general public know where they are?
There's a sign on the door.
There's a sign on the-
Yeah, 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 it's the left of Oakland.
Get
Yeah.
your teeth cleaned or get your eyes checked and then go to see them.
Go get your development.
You're done, Bill. There you go.
Yeah, so, but everybody that's been trying to find them finds it relatively easy. I don't think anybody's gotten lost yet, but, but it's a good space and it's working out well
You just tell them
overall.
to go to the other end of Palmer Park Road, right? Just go off the hill and go down the
Yeah.
other side. That's it. Bye.
Okay, yes, thank you for everything. And on that note, I guess we'll close that meeting. Finito.